welcome. Time for our next presenter. We have Anders Fogelberg with us here from FlexQube, who will talk a bit about their business and what they're doing. And I'll just let you get to it. So thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Anders Fogelberg. I'm from Gothenburg, where we have the headquarters of FlexQube. I'm not sure how many know about FlexQube, but we design and manufacture modular and flexible material handling carts for intralogistics. So that's mainly for manufacturing industry and distribution industry. We have here on the first page our newly launched e-cart, which is our autonomous solution for material handling. And this morning we actually got a press release that it was certified and approved with all the different machine directives and other certifications needed for the European and North American market. So that's a very good news for us. This is me. I've been in this position since 2013. We founded the company in 2010. It was me and two other friends in Gothenburg who came up with this idea. And since 2017, in December, we've been listed on the First North market.
I'm Rick Snekvik. I'm the Director of Operations at Direct Relief. I've been here 18 years and it's always been an issue. We've had other carts we've used for picking and they're a little bit cumbersome. And these are ideal because you can use them in just about any way you want. These carts are one of the best things I've seen and I'm certainly looking forward to getting some more and I'd recommend them highly.
Inspired by Lego, the founders from Gothenburg built FlexQube with the aim to make their customers world leaders in intralogistics with their flexible yet simple solution. Beginning with only the 3 founders in 2010, FlexQube has grown swiftly to now having 20 employees globally and indirectly having 60 people working every day with FlexQube. Since its beginning, FlexQube has grown to service over 346 multinational customers in 25 different countries, ranging in industries from automotive, energy, agricultural, and transportation manufacturers to Tier 1 suppliers and consumer goods. But this is just the beginning. We haven't even scratched the surface and will not rest until the world is filled with FlexQube applications. Our concept will be adding a new journey with FlexQube 4.0, where we merge the mechanical world with the digital world, the e-cart. This will increase our chances even more to become the world leader in intralogistics and material handling applications.
This is a little bit about the story. As we said, 2010 was the start of FlexQube, and then in 2012 we started with the sales. And North America has been a very strong market for us since that time. And 2018, about 80% of the order intake was from USA and Mexico together. This year, we've focused on the launch of the e-cart as well as starting a UK company. And despite the Brexit coming up here, we believe that that is a long-term growth market for these kind of solutions. Last year, we started the German entity. And Germany is also a market in Europe that we are now focusing a lot more on. Looking at some of the figures here, we had a very good growth in 2018, where we grow the order intake and net sales with 71% and 138% respectively. And then in this year, we've had a little bit of a slower period, mainly because of the automotive sector in North America slowing down quite much. In first half year of 2018, it was a very strong order intake for us from that sector. And we actually had a share of 67% of our order intake in North America from the automotive sector Q2 2018. And this year it was down to 33%. So that has been a challenging period for us, but we have now also broadened our sectors. We work more with other industries. I'm going to show here a little bit of examples. You can see below there the different sectors, for example, in the wind power industry, which is a very growing sector for the time, as well as other distribution centers like Wayfair, which is a company doing furniture deliveries in the US. We're also historically very strong in machinery and tier 1 automotive suppliers. So in the machinery sector, you see some company names there as well. And now we are trying to see whether we can be part of the transformation going on in the automotive sector to electrical cars, of course, which will require a lot of new investments. And then especially with the e-cart, we see that we have a product portfolio that is futuristic and adapted to that kind of market. So we have the production also outsourced. So we have it here in Sweden and we have it in Georgia in the US. We're about 30 employees in the company, directly employed by FlexQube, and then we have outsourced manufacturing, distribution and assembly, as well as design resources in India and R&D. This is the concept then, so it's like adult Lego or industrial Meccano, we usually say. So instead of welding carts together, we bolt them together, which makes it then possible to adapt and adjust and so on in the future if needs change. Also, if a cart is damaged in an accident, you can just replace that specific part. So I usually say that you wouldn't buy a car in one piece. It doesn't really make sense if you have to do some repair or service to it. And it's the same with this actually, that you buy a cart which is bolted together and then you can fix it, you can adjust it, and the life cycle then extends and the companies make more money basically. In the design process which we work with, we have a called subway process. So we try to work with the customer in creating the customer unique solutions using these standardized building blocks and the standardized interface. And then we come up with these solutions that could look like this. So regarding material presentation, for example, to present components used in the factories in an ergonomic way and in a quick way for the operators to assemble it, or with material transport to optimize and run safe transports, especially without forklifts then in the companies. So some pictures here. We see a picture from Boeing, where we have a few carts from us, some shelf carts and some flat deck carts. We see also a Caterpillar picture here, which is another customer. We have a huge installation of carts with the new Volvo plant, the Volvo Cars plant in Charleston in USA, who became a customer at the end of 2017. We have more than 1,400 carts in use there at the moment. And we are also now the distributors of this lift runner mother-daughter cart system, the yellow piece you see in the picture there, which is a way of transporting the trolleys internally in the factory. It's a German product, and we are now the exclusive distributors since March this year of that product. And there are also 80 of those frames, not all sold by us, at the Volvo plant at the moment. Atlas Copco is also a new customer from this year, not here in Sweden, but in South Carolina in the US. We have also been selling quite a lot to a company who makes trains in the USA called Siemens Mobility. It's in Sacramento. And also the train sector and the electric bus sector is also a prioritized sector for FlexQube now and going forward. We also added another train manufacturer to the customer list called Alstom this year. Wind power is also a very interesting segment. And here you see a picture from Vestas from Colorado, where we have sold at approximately, I think, 7 or 8 million kroner total. So it's quite a big customer for us. Looking at the second quarter, it was a little bit of a disappointing quarter in terms of order intake, but you can see here the net sales grew by 5%. We added quite new interesting customers, and we also saw positive signs in the European market where we grew the order intake by 26%. As I said, the automotive sector had an impact on the overall order intake, and then the EBITDA was at -5 million kroner. And this is, of course, also a little bit affected by the heavily concentration of marketing activities, trade shows in the second quarter, but also, of course, that we have e-cart development during this period. This is the lift runner product I talked about before, and this also is an extension to our product line. We match up our modular cart concept with these frames, and that creates a very unique concept in the market. So this lift runner concept is by many considered the market-leading tugger train solution. And then with the FlexQube concept, the customer gets a very modern and good solution. So we've been working with this company since 2012, and now we are now the exclusive distributors of this product in North America. So that includes Mexico, USA, and Canada. Looking then at the automation market, you see here on the right-hand chart, on the right-hand side there, that the market for automation solutions, warehouse and logistics robots, is considered to increase quite a lot over the coming years. And this is where we are now launching our e-cart into this segment.
The AGVs actually, they actually do a lot for us. Right off the bat, I would say first and foremost safety.
We're really embracing it, and our team is embracing it. It's allowed us to put our people in bigger or better quality positions.
This is making my life easier because I get to stay in one place and I get to focus more on quality of our pallets.
It's eliminated a lot less intersection traffic with pedestrians and equipment.
I'm actually growing, which is going to benefit my future. It's going to benefit the people in the company, and we're moving forward and it's not standing still.
This is a situation where we get to advance in our jobs. It gives us the opportunity to train in other departments.
To be perfectly honest with you, I believe the sky is the limit.
Be a part of it, be proud of it, go home, tell our families that we're being a part of a company that's growing and that we're very proud of it.
We'll always have work for our associates. This allows us to scale the business, create more jobs by driving revenue and being more important to our customers.
So what you could see there in the video was an AGV, autonomous guided vehicle, which was then connected with our cart. That's not the e-cart, that's a fully mechanical cart, and we are, at the same time we're selling the e-cart as our own autonomous solution, we are delivering carts to other makers of these autonomous solutions. And in this case, you saw that red AGV underneath the cart. So it's also very interesting market development where we can both go with our own solution, but also learn a lot about other suppliers in this marketplace. So here you see one size of the e-cart. It's the Europallet size of the latest edition of the e-cart. And we're gonna now show this at the trade show in Birmingham at the end of September and the trade show in Stuttgart beginning of October. And we also got the first order for this, some of you might know, but for Daimler in Germany. And we are delivering that solution now this coming Monday, actually, for them to try out the first unit. So here you see another design of the solution, which is then with the extendable shelves. So the whole idea and purpose of the e-cart and the FlexQube concept is that you can get any configuration you want. You can create unique material handling solutions, but still then with the possibility to make it autonomous. We have also focused a lot on the user friendliness of this. So instead of having this as a separate unit in the factories compared to the normal operators and assemblers, we want to connect the automation with the persons working there. So you can actually handle this e-cart with the tablet. You can control it then and maneuver it and position it in the workplace. It has a higher load capacity than other solutions in the market as well as a lower price. So we have said that the price range for this would be maybe for the simplest solution, the basic version, below $10,000 or around that figure, and then up to $25,000. We're also looking at new solutions and extensions to this, like the next generation already. Right now, you can see in the picture that the cart is following a tape or a painted line on the floor, or as I said, you can drive it manually. It is also already prepared for fully natural navigation. So it has these kind of LiDAR sensors, laser scanners that you have on self-driving vehicles as well. and it's basically now a development phase that we're looking into, and software development to make it fully autonomous, which would be the next generation and priced also at a higher level, of course. So here you see another illustration of how it could look like then if a customer buys this product, that you can get different configurations on top. Another short video here of this cart pulling other carts, which is also a possible application. So these carts following is our fully mechanical carts as well. It's a video from a Bosch plant in Mexico. And the good thing about this is that already existing customers, we have about 500 different sites that we've sold to, is that you can use these mechanical carts we already sold and upgrade to this autonomous e-cart solution. You don't have to buy completely new things. It's also safe and sound, so I've tested it out with my 2 sons. So it's approved. The technology behind it is that we have different building blocks, and that we can then use them to combine into different size and shape. And this is a very easy approach then, that makes it easy to assemble and create the different sizes. And then there's a lot of technology data here, but it has the highest safety ranking that you can get for this kind of solution for AGVs. Which is also something very important for our customers in the buying process, of course. It doesn't require any kind of fixed installation in the plants. It's all 4G, so you don't even need a Wi-Fi. And a little bit more about this here is that we want to create something simple. We say that, okay, you get this, you unwrap it, and then you can be up and running within 30 minutes. For example. So you don't need to create very large-scale projects with fixed installations in the plants in order to try out automation. So we sometimes say it's automation for the people, for example, that even small plants, small production sites can get started with automation by using the FlexQube e-cart solution. This is a picture from the certification process that was conducted in China, that was now approved. It's electromagnetic fields in this part of the test, I think. Looking at the share and the ownership structure, we are still owned to almost 63%, I think, by me, Per Augustsson, which is the technical director on the left here in the picture, and Christian Thiel, who is the current CFO. He will now step down, and we will have a new CFO from September 16, Mikael Lindbäck. But of course, Christian will be fully committed to the company going forward as well as a board member and so on. So to summarize a little bit, we are positioned for growth in the automation sector and automation trend going on. We also have the other products, the fully mechanical Lego concept, of course, for more traditional tugger train application, and also then the lift runner product, which we integrate with in North America. We could also integrate in Europe, as we have a collaboration with Still here as well in Germany. We are focusing now a little bit more on Europe with Germany and UK. We have about 500 customers, and customers is then a production site. Very many well-known companies on that list. And then going forward, we are also focusing now, especially of course with the e-cart, which has a higher gross margin, to improve our margins and the results going forward. We're also open to try new things like leasing of these carts or renting out and also work with maybe more software-related revenues with the e-cart. So I think that was this was the last slide. So that's me and my son here again, and about Lego. We like Lego.
Great, thank you. So we have time for a couple of questions as well. I think one thing that would be interesting to get in a bit more detail is, so what other alternatives are out there today, and what is the competitive landscape like? Are there anyone else with a similar sort of solution? And what sort of competition are you facing?
Yes. That was actually what interested me when I heard about this idea from the beginning from my friend, is that this market is quite unknown to many. You don't think that there are so many carts for material handling inside factories. But if you look at the plant like Scania here, for example, in Södertälje, they might have a couple of thousand carts, and each one is maybe 10,000 kroner each at least. So we're talking about 20 million just in one production plant. So it's a very huge, it's a very big market, and the main competition today, still, and even when we started, was these welding companies. So local fabricators, primarily very well connected to the local plant, supplying these welded solutions. And they were typically running at the revenue rate of maybe 10, 20, 30 million kroner. And we believe that if we can come in here with a system that can both then be, of course, much more flexible and so on, so companies can reuse the parts for the future, but also come in on a global level, so we can say to customers like Caterpillar that you can get exact same solution in Germany as in US. We can then strike out these local fabricators and rather quickly become the #1 in an industry. And I think that's quite unique for a physical product like this when you start from scratch. So local fabricators is still the main competition. Now when the e-cart is entering the arena, we will have other type of competition within the AGV sector. And there we're talking about a company from Denmark called Mobile Industrial Robots, for example. But they are, we are slightly different also because we are also focusing with the e-cart on the more higher heavy-duty loads. And that was also the intention with the concept from the beginning. And that's why we're still so strong in the machinery sector and so on.
Right, understood. And one thing that I was thinking about, maybe we can split it up into the mechanical carts and the e-cart, but what sort of barriers is it to entry into this industry? Are you protected by patents today for this solution? And just if you could develop a bit on that.
Yeah, I think on the mechanical concept we are protected to some extent with some patents of the overall concept, and also that the interface that we are using is getting more like a patent kind of protection. So we have a patent in 55 countries and so on, including some in Asia like China and Japan. But when we talk about the e-cart, the protection is also, of course, that it's a software product more, so it takes longer time to develop such a solution. But the combination of the software-based product like the e-cart and the autonomous design there with the fully flexible and mechanical FlexQube original concept, that's a unique combination. I think that is a protection in itself for the future. But of course, we can never protect against maybe someone coming up with a rather similar concept. But for us, it's more about being best in our industry and creating the optimized cart for the customers. And we are creating about 30, 40 different customer unique designs each week now. So we have also a huge library online with 3,000 to 4,000 solutions that the customers can pick from, and that is also a unique position in the market.
Yeah. And in terms of profitability as well, I mean, are you gonna? You mentioned that you have some further solutions to this e-cart that you would like to add on and so forth, and you're investing a lot in this. In terms of profitability, when do you see yourself returning positive profits to investors, for example? What's the strategy now? You're still focusing on growth? And
yeah, the focus has been, of course, since we came to the stock market to run the growth focus, and also the e-cart development, of course. Now we're entering a little bit of a new phase, of course, when we have the first product from this in FlexQube 4.0 project. So we will see how quickly we can get this product into the market and how quickly we can get some orders. We are not happy with the order intake in the first half of this year, so right now the focus is to regain the growth theme in the company. So before we take on too much other costs, we have to make sure we set a new level of order intake and sales, and before we enter maybe the growth theme again then. But I think we haven't set the firm target for when we need to be profitable and so on, but right now we have focus on the growth.
Yeah, understood. I think we have time for one more question. I was just thinking a bit about these orders and so forth, and just in terms of, what's your visibility with clients in terms of orders? So like how far from they put an order in do you deliver, and what's the outlook in general? I mean, this was a tough quarter.
Yeah.
But beyond that, the outlook, could you comment on that?
Yeah, we have a very strong pipeline going into the second half of this year, but the pipeline is also extending quite from this week until maybe end of next year, because the sales cycles are very long. So, for example, with the Volvo plant in the US, we started the discussions 3 years ahead of the first order, basically. So we're already now talking about new investment in production plans in 2021, 2022, and so on. So it's a long sales cycle. But the visibility in terms of orders and so on is that you get an order today, you usually get delivered within 4 to 12 weeks and so on, no matter what the size of the order is. So it's basically a quarter ahead, you could say, that you could see where you're running.
Yeah. All right, understood. I think that's what we have time for. Thank you so much for coming, and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.